coming to you live. It is the nightcap for our live viewers, and hopefully a beginning to a great week for you non-live listeners. It is the Sons of Honarchy podcast with your host, Steve-O, that's at Drunk Shy Sox Fan on Twitter.
And Hot Take Tommy. So on this episode of the Sons of Honarchy podcast, you're getting a full dose of Happy Tommy and Heel Steve. So
Absolutely.
We'll also be playing a quick game of Fuck, Marry, Kill, and get yourself strapped in for Steve's 108 Tourney Thoughts. All of this brought to you by
us. So make sure you rate, subscribe, review, not only to our podcast, but also to our brand new YouTube page, which people are able to watch us live now. So this is fun. I like engaging with our audience while we're just shooting the shit, Tom, and talking baseball and, you know.
Yeah, and apparently you like engaging with the audience more than you like engaging with me. You didn't want to come over tonight.
No, absolutely not. No, hey man, I've had a bit
right?
I've had a busy week. You already know this. Life is absolutely
do.
crazy right now. We're still prepping our place right now that we're going to be moving into next weekend.
And you were up until God knows what hour doing grad work.
Yep, and that's not done. So
you woke up early, no one cares, right? That's what they always say.
That's right. Except it's the opposite for me. It's like you stayed up late, no one cares. That's the MO of my life. But you know, I have no time to tweet about that. That's how I've been lately. So, Tommy, you obviously aren't on Twitter unless it's posting videos and pictures of your dog. So, how was your week, Tom?
Hey, that is an actual that question that I asked about my dog today was a real question. Okay, my dog just always looks fucking mad as hell.
It's the eyebrows, man.
Yeah, his angry eyebrows. But we just come back from like a mile walk. Like he had a time in the dog park. He was all smiles. We get home. He sits in my bed. He gets in my bed and then looks at me like that. Like, fuck you, bitch. Like,
well, he owns
Todd,
the place, Tom. Come on now.
He does. Yeah, my dog owns me. That's fair. Yeah,
absolutely.
It's a rough life over in these streets here on the Northwest side. Yeah, but other than that, the only other thing that was really going on in my brain this week is how much I fucking am so happy that baseball's back. Like, I forgot how addicted to baseball I was. It's basically what it was. As soon as like news started coming, I was just like trying to talk to people about it. Nobody wants to hear it. Like in this household, I'm like, Kichi, guess what? And she's like, I don't care. My wife. And then I talked to my sister-in-law and she's like, I don't know what.
She doubly doesn't care.
Yeah. She's like, who? What is the sport that you're speaking about? So yeah, it's good to talk to you, Steve, because otherwise I'm talking to myself. It's great.
I think it'd be pretty entertaining to watch you talk to a wall on Twitter, though. I mean, that's what Twitter is for. That's why you need to get on Twitter more. Okay, it's basically like talking to a wall, except people talk back to you through your screen.
See, that's the thing. I don't need these thoughts, these shit thoughts in script. It's bad enough that I'm already putting them out in these podcast airwaves live as well. It's like it's tough.
People are grateful, Tom, because they know how much smarter they are than us. That's why people tune in on a regular basis. They're like, I need to hear what these idiots have to say so I can feel better about myself. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Well, I'm glad I could be of service in that way. But hey, speaking of people that are smarter than us,
yes.
I actually wanted to bring to you, so this is something that went over on my weekend, right? I listened to the CHGO, not the Chigo podcast, the Chigo White Sox podcast, we'll call it here, but it is technically called the CHGO. They invited Chirizi on, and it was actually a great freaking listen. Don't leave to go listen to it now. Wait till we're done.
And after this. I promise we won't be any more than like another 50 minutes.
Yeah. It's just going to be a quick hour of your life. It's fine. But Chirizi's on Geo, and he was railing against my guy, Rick Hahn.
Yes,
and
as many people have been on White Sox Twitter as well.
Everyone's pissed. Everyone's mad at my hero, which has been tough, I'll admit. But he actually brought up some really good points, which is, again, back to him being smarter than us, than me specifically. He was talking about, and a lot of people, you pointed out as well, a lot of people are talking about it. It's not about the money not being spent anymore. The money has been spent. We're top 5 payrolls in baseball. actually didn't the Phillies just sign Castellanos? Because that I think they jumped
That
us,
would-
leapfrogged us. I think
Right.
we're top 6 in baseball. Whatever, top 6 payrolls in baseball. Still going to be top 10. Whatever. So
the
it's not
highest
that
they've been in a long time.
Oh yeah.
Since
It
they
feels
haven't
good.
been, they haven't been in the top 10 since 20. I want to say 2016, 2015. But
Which we were good, but we were spending a lot. So
yeah, spending a
Yeah,
lot,
so-
not in the right ways.
it feels good to be having money thrown around. I'll admit, like I
For
like
sure.
that. But the thing that people are complaining about now is, again, not that the money's not being spent, but how it's being spent. So there's like all the people that are tweeting like, oh, look at all this money sucked up in the bullpen. Like these 3 guys alone between Graveman and Kimbrel and Hendricks, you could buy like 2 right fielders with that shit. And it's like, okay, maybe. But also, anyway, so Treasy's going on all about this and that shit, and I'm like, I'll listen to it, but I don't love where you're going with this. And then he says the thing that really kind of got me hooked on, and this is what I actually, even I, the Hanbot I am a little upset about this with him, and he basically just misread the market. Han did.
Absolutely.
Like, why the fuck did you pick up Kimbrel's option? Like, I thought for damn sure he had somebody like lined up, ready to take Kimbrel off our books or whatever. And I was ready for him to be gone by Christmas, right? Obviously, you know, there was a lockout. I don't know if you guys heard.
Yeah.
But
and rumor has it that Philadelphia was the big suitor. And that there was a deal on the table, and Rick was just kind of about it, you know, and it would have been a fair deal. We don't know what exactly the details were of that. Maybe it was Gene Segura. Maybe it was somebody who is down the pipeline for them. But it would have been fair, and it's a bummer. No pun intended
You're a
there
bummer?
for the White Sox. And for a question that's popping in right now, it sucks that the misread of the market just across the board in general right now is not playing well for the White Sox and making Rick Hahn look like a complete idiot. Your bullpen is stacked right now. I mean, I don't get me wrong, it's really sexy. And that's where this question pops in here from our guy Ryan Ferrucci. 815 represent, baby, from back home.
Unbelievable.
Who should be the closer for the White Sox? So Tom, you want to field this real quick?
Yeah, I mean, look, you can't take the closer role away from the guy who's won AL reliever of the year 2 years consecutively. You just can't take it out of his hands. Not until he loses it on his own, which I don't anticipate him doing so. Like, I just don't see a team that has Liam Hendricks this year not having him come out the gates as the closer. Like, it wouldn't make sense to do anything otherwise. And I get like Kimbrel is dog shit out of the ninth, like outside.
You mean
of the ninth.
Yes. Not being in a ninth inning situation. Yeah.
And fuck you, Farouch. Look at this shit.
Yep, exactly. He's already on it. Second greatest closer
the
of all time.
comments. Oh, you're gonna take
here's
the
the
ball
thing.
out of the
Liam,
second greatest closer. Yeah, I'm gonna take the ball out of his
This was always
hands.
my argument. This was always my argument too when they went out and got Kimbrel. Was okay. You've got Liam, who's always said, "I don't care where I pitch.
Right.
You could pitch me in the 7th, the 9th, the 1st. I don't care. I just want to get guys out." And I think, to be honest with you, if they can't shed Kimbrel, that might be a viable option. I don't see why it's not.
Kimbrel in the ninth?
Yeah. Unless he's complete dog shit there.
Fam, I swear to God, I would rather have Graveman in the ninth.
No, you don't.
Yes,
no, you don't.
yes. What do you mean?
Kendall Graveman was, and here's the thing with Kendall Graveman too. He was really good last year. Don't get me wrong.
But the most recent games he's pitched,
he did it in a contract year, right? When you look at his numbers across the board, he's a decent reliever, but he's not Kimbrel. He's not Hendricks. And I honestly, I think Ferrucci here brings up a really interesting point that it might be worth a shot, despite the bad taste of Craig Kimbrell that White Sox fans have in their mouth, to think about him being the closing guy and watching Liam just absolutely rip people apart in the earlier innings. By earlier, I mean like 6, 7, 8.
Look, you just got to ride the wave. Like, that's what you do with relievers, right? You take the hottest guy and you use him in the most important innings. Like, that's just what you do. So, like, the most recent shit that Kimbrell's done has been bad. That you're not riding a wave with him. You're like riding him down a goddamn hill. Like, that's not. I'm not going to be on board. That's it. I'm just not going to be on board with putting him in the 9th inning right now. Like, sue me. Maybe he is the second greatest reliever of all time. I don't care. Like, he's not.
I understand
this year. He's not.
The second best, arguably the second best closer of all time is what the argument was. But and here's the thing, Tom. I understand that. I understand why you feel this way, because we as White Sox fans we've been fed the narrative too, that especially with Liam, for example, whoever it is, if they can pitch well, they should be able to pitch well wherever.
Right.
So that's the argument with Kimbrell, right? If Kimbrell's really that good, it shouldn't matter whether he's pitching in the 8th or in the 7th or in the 9th. He should still be able to pitch well. But let's rewind back to a conversation that we had with Andrew Perez, minor league relief pitcher with the White Sox. And what did he say about relief pitching in particular, Tom? That it's very what?
Volatile,
and it's up here, right?
Yeah.
It's super mental. It's super, like, he's like, you've got to be a little crazy to be a relief pitcher. You've got to, like, and there are certain situations that you are just better in. And that's, I think, the argument for Craig Kimbrell. And I'm, like I said, my hot take of the year, Tom, you already know this. Craig Kimbrell, Rolaids Relief Man of the Year for the AL in a White Sox uniform. I'm praying.
You're high for that, bro. You're high for that. And well, anyway, the point of this is, right, that Han misread the market. Han was like, we were gonna have a bunch of fuck you, Farouch again in the comments with the Cody
Hoyer. Love it.
Yeah, dude, we miss him. We get it.
No, you don't.
Get it. Oh yeah, didn't he get like?
Yeah, he was not good
last offseason.
Yeah, he's not good. Not a good spot right now.
But anyway, like the point is that Han misread the market. He thought he was going to have suitors out the wazoo for Kimbrell, and he just doesn't. And it doesn't make sense if you had two guys that you were going to have an option for, like a choice to pick up options on. It was Kimbrell and Cesar Hernandez, right? And I know that we also have a bad taste in our mouths as Sox fans with Cesar Hernandez. He literally shat the bed in the second half of the season. But it's like, we didn't. I like Josh Harrison. I'm happy that we have him. Like, don't get me wrong. I actually am excited about that signing. We'll get into that. But it's not that much of an improvement. It's not like you got, I don't know, like the second base is really thin in the MLB and in general. But it's like, what's the difference? Like I like he's historically got a good glove, just like Cesar Hernandez did, and he historically. Both guys historically have had a good glove, Steve. And
Cesar Hernandez, solid glove, yes, for sure. The Josh Harrison thing, it's very inconsistent when you look at his advanced metrics. I was actually looking at him right before we got on. I mean, his UZR, it's really funny, especially with second.
I'm sorry. Keep going.
God, you are such an ass. When you look at it, like in 2019 and 2020, the numbers were really solid, and then all of a sudden, his second base numbers just like took a huge drop off in 2021 from a defensive standpoint. So I'm very curious to see what he looks like defensively at second base. It also makes me think about why they re-signed Leury Garcia in the first place too.
That's another reason why I'm really happy about Josh Harrison being around, is because now the deal for Leury looks so much better in my eyes, because he's not a starting second baseman. He's not a starting anything, but he is a damn good utility guy, and he should stay in that role. He flourishes in that role. I think he's one of the top utility guys in the league. Full stop.
He's decent. I mean, yes, he shouldn't start 160 games a year.
No.
Larry Garcia should never do that. But then again, I don't know if Josh Harrison's that good either. He may have been 5 years ago, but not now. He's definitely not at that same level that he was before.
I mean, we'll see.
I mean, he got MVP
We'll
votes
see.
in what year? I think that was he was in Pittsburgh. at
Okay,
that
yeah,
point. I
he's
would have
not
to
going to
look
be
that
getting
up.
MVP. Nobody's expecting that. But he had a good year
Right.
last year. Also, with that UZR bullshit that you're spouting, I'd be really interested to see how the A's shifting and stuff affected his UZR and like his usage basically. If that makes any difference on his defensive metrics, because I think it's going to be the way that the A's use people are going to be different than the way that like most teams use people out in the field. So anyway, just a thought on that. But I'm not worried about Josh Harrison's defense. I think we got a lot stronger up the middle in general, just with that pickup. But but it's like Han did. He basically, and hindsight's 2020, but that qualifying offer, just to beat a dead horse, that qualifying offer for Rodon looks real good right now, and we didn't extend it, just didn't float it at all. So
I don't know if it's even really. I still think there's something on the books, Tom, that we don't know
Dude,
about. But
we'll
have
put
to
your
wait and
fucking
see.
tinfoil hat on, Steve. Good golly.
Yeah, just
He
remember
passed the
too.
physical in San Francisco. Clearly,
There is also an innings clause in his contract, so just remember that.
first of all, it's an innings clause. Second of all,
tomato.
Nobody says tomatoes, Steve. Just like nobody says inning. Everybody says
What
innings.
do they say? Two of six in one hand, a dozen in the other. Is that what the phrase is? I don't even know what the phrase is. 12 in one hand, a dozen in the other. Whatever.
You're close. You're definitely close, but it's not that. It's
All right.
Okay,
Well,
but
should we talk about the rest of the team?
yes, let's.
All right.
I mean, I've got a few things that I'm excited about. Like,
Of course you do.
well, if we just start with the pitch, that makes me laugh. If we start with just the pitching staff, right? We've got Giolito coming into camp, adding 20 pounds of muscle, ready to dude.
Yeah,
do
sure.
not laugh. Do not laugh about this.
There's no way this guy put on 20 pounds of pure muscle in the
Steve,
offseason.
Steve, it is reported by the reputable Chicago Sun-Times. This man put on 20 pounds of muscle. This is like you have to weigh in to get into camp. Like, it's not like he didn't have a difference in weight that was clearly documented. Like, this happened to Steve. He put on 20 pounds of muscle.
Put on
This-
20 pounds, whether it's all muscle or not. We'll leave that up for debate.
Look, Steve, like, okay, Giolito putting on 20 pounds of muscle is going to look a lot different than Steve Smurd putting on 20 pounds of, like, you putting on 20 pounds of muscle, you look like a goddamn bowling ball. Like,
I'd look like a fit Billy Wires.
You-
Sorry, I got to throw my 108 tourney opponent under the bus.
Yes, exactly.
Well,
You're going to face up against this guy. So, but look, like, you don't have places to put that muscle. The man is 6'6". He has places to put 20 pounds of muscle. Like, it's going to be a good look for him is what I'm saying. So I'm excited about it. And
I'm not sure if you saw the tweet. The velocity was up in spring training too. He was throwing 96, 97 consistently, not 94, 95, which is what we love to see. So there's the muscle kicking in, I guess.
Thank you for understanding why I'm excited, Steve. God damn it. And
That I'll get on board with. I like that.
thank you.
That gets me
Lord.
pumped.
God, it's so hard to get you excited about
I'm not
baseball,
going to be a
Steve.
total negative. What do you call negative
Nancy?
Nancy? Yes, but
12
you know,
foot,
I
5 hand,
identify as
60
a male, so it's like a negative. What's a male name with an N?
Negative Nelson.
Negative Nelson. There we go.
It's not nobody's ever said that. It's not a saying, Steve.
All right, let's continue with the rest of the.
Yeah, okay. So I'm also excited about the we've talked about it, but the White Sox having a high payroll, top 6 in baseball. That's great. The money has been spent hypothetically. I'm excited that Dylan Cease has a mustache that rivals Soxwood and Duber and Nick Morawski. Like, it's out here, and okay, it's not that great of a mustache to be
Even
named
Cat
amongst
said
those.
it's terrible, so I'm gonna take his word for it.
Speaking of Ethan Katz, though, we picked up Vince Velasquez, right?
Okay,
That's
before
something
you go, yeah, exactly. This is actually a perfect segue right here. Don't let the mustache distract you from the real issues here at hand. Plus, Vinny Duber is still Al's Cheesy Beef. I am still on that. So,
dude,
he runs the Al's Cheesy Beef account. I'm sure of it.
They've been very quiet, that account. So,
oh yes, it's because he works for CHGO now.
Chigo.
No, Vince Velasquez. Here's the what? Why?
We signed him for right field, Steve.
Well,
we needed a right fielder.
There you go. He's a right fielder, right? All I can think of is that game in 2019 where he hosed Abreu at home plate in the, I want to say that was the 12th inning. That game went to 13, if I'm not mistaken. It was either the 11th or 12th inning that happened. And a liner to left field, straight to Velasquez. He didn't have to. He played in a hop or two, easy. But he put this thing on a rope, and Abreu got tagged out easy.
Hey, that cannon's in our bullpen now. Here.
Outfield options. You know, we always talk about outfield options as White Sox fans. Vince Velasquez, man. Here's the deal with Vince Velasquez. I don't think he better not get any significant pitching time. Is where I'm at. I hope
he'll be okay. He'll be a long reliever.
He's got Hector Santiago written all over him, and
which is great.
I hope he's at least half of Hector Santiago.
Dude, Hector Santiago was goated, and you know it. He also had a little help, allegedly.
Actually, I know who it was. Jordan. yes, exactly. A little sticky stuff, a little whatever you want on the glove.
Yep.
No, regular listener of the podcast, Jordan Miller, likened the Vince Velasquez signing to the Gio Gonzalez signing of 2020. Tough. I think that's a little disrespectful to Gio Gonzalez personally. Considering Gio Gonzalez is a top 15, if I'm not mistaken, or at least top 20 WAR pitcher of his decade.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. Yeah, he's like, especially of the last decade. If you're taking pitchers from the last decade, he's in the conversation. If you're listing 25 of the top pitchers of that decade, 2010 to 2020, he's in the conversation undoubtedly. So
he's close.
Oh, come on. Top 20,
it's crazy
25 pitchers
just between those years.
Exactly.
Yes, that's right.
Exactly.
Which is so weird to think about.
Right.
Especially when we saw him.
He was not good for us.
Grooving 87-mile-an-hour four-seam fastballs.
Not ideal.
Still not as bad as Smell Baseball. Irvin Santana.
You gotta slander all these guys. Like, let's be happy for like 5 seconds.
I think he still follows me on Twitter.
He follows, unfollows, snip, unsnip, like the office.
It all depends on whether I blasted him on the podcast the week before or not. That's what he determines the following on.
Yes, Irvin Santana is a regular listener to the Sons of Anarchy, guaranteed. But yeah, I mean, we've got these new additions, right? And people are excited about it. People are not excited about it. I kind of want to know where you stand on it, because we haven't actually had a full, honest conversation about it. Yeah. We got 3 signees, right?
I don't, like I said before, I'll hop right into it. I don't know where Vince Velasquez fits into the situation at all, unless it's to eat innings.
Exactly. He's your new Ross Detweiler, Steve. This is Ross 2.0.
I guess so. Did we need a guy to do that, especially with how many guys we have in the bullpen?
Well, we don't have. It's the whole concept of we are upgrading or moving. You know, we're moving people out, right? Like into the rotation, and so we need him. And you got to think like at some point they're probably going to be giving the treatment to Crotch Rocket, trying to get him to take a spot start here or there, because that's his projection as well.
Spot start for sure. But luckily I was reading news that Kopech's going to be ready to rock and roll and pitch a full slate this year. I know we've been we've been extremely doubtful about that. All of White Sox Nation has been extremely doubtful about that. But hey, if he is stretched out and he's ready to go, that is going to be key to the White Sox success this year. I can't hammer that enough.
He's going to be just as much of a key to this White Sox success as Vince Velasquez. Yes, I agree, Steve. I couldn't agree more. But who else? We haven't even touched on the last guy. Probably the guy that most people are most excited about is Joe Kelly coming in here. Speaking of players that are from the 2018 World Series winning Red Sox, Joe Kelly and Kimbrel, technically.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Kimbrel's role was
he was there. He was on the team. He got a ring.
he got his role yanked from him.
Yes.
So I really do like the Joe Kelly signing.
Even with the nerve damage, Steve.
Yeah.
Where are you on that?
I was gonna bring that up. I know there's that nerve damage. He seems to be on his way back.
Yeah, just get a massage, right? Like, it's fine.
We'll see what his recovery looks like. I'm still really excited because his upside is tremendous.
Exactly.
It's not like you're just signing some random bullpen arm and praying that they pan out. That's
Vince Velasquez, actually.
Correct. This is a signing that not only fits well into the White Sox bullpen needs, but also fits well into the culture of who the White Sox are as a team. I think he's, and once again, a non-measurable here, but he's got that attitude, man. And you love that, especially with how much energy the bullpen already has with Liam and Craig. It's going to be really good. I'm really excited. I'm really hopeful. I'm not expecting him to have some sub-2 ERA, whip below 0.8, some Rolaids relief man of the year kind of stuff. But I'm excited for him to have some really good outings and be a solid part of the bullpen. I'm blown away at how good the bullpen is. Once again, not upset about how the money was spent, upset about how it was spent. Because
wait, say that again.
Not upset. Let me rephrase that. Yes. Not upset about the money being spent. I am upset about how it was spent because this bullpen is nuts. It's great. And you never know who's going to, and bullpens are volatile, right? You never know who's going to be good. You never know who's not going to be good. But there's a glaring need on this roster right now, and you're filling it with Gavin Sheets and Andrew Vaughn.
You were mentioning options earlier, right? It's good to have options, right? And I think that's what you have to think about with this right field situation. You could sign a right fielder. You could sign a Michael Conforto, but then you'd only have one guy in right field. Wouldn't you rather have three guys that you could pull on at any time to play right field, Steve? 3 is better than 1.
I am losing you. So give me 1 second. I'm having technical difficulties. I'm hearing you twice for some reason.
Adorable. You just love me that much. You want to hear my voice as often and as frequently as possible.
Okay.
But
now we're good.
We're ready. Okay. Yes. Well, that takes us to, are you ready to play our game?
Let's do it.
So we've got 3 new additions to this ball club with Joe Kelly, Josh Harrison, and Vince Velasquez, right? I want to play Fuck, Marry, Kill because everybody's been doing these like grades for the signings and all that shit. And it's like, okay, well, let's get to the nitty gritty. Who you like, who you don't like. Let's get through it. So, Steve, you want to take it from the top?
Sure. So I'm asking you, Tommy, and just like I asked Herb Lawrence.
Steve.
Can you hear me? You can't hear me.
Well, there you are, my guy.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Did I chop out for a second?
Yeah, you did. But that's okay.
Sorry about that. So, technical difficulties over here for some reason. So, let's get this going. Fuck, Marry, Kill. My first one. I am definitely fucking Joe Kelly. Okay. Absolutely. He just seems like a wild child. So definitely going with that one. I'm going to marry Josh Harrison.
Wow.
Absolutely. Because
I thought you weren't going to like. Okay. Continue.
Seems fun. Likes to have a good time. I know nothing about him as a human being. But yes. When we think about him as a baseball person, he's just that solid player. Right? He's that solid dude. So there's the Mary, absolutely killing Vince Velasquez.
Just murder. No explanation needed. Yeah, I align with you in the realm of murder. I would definitely kill Vince Velasquez as well. I'm more in the sense of like I like the signing because I think this is a cats can fix him kind of a dude. But I'm gonna fuck Josh Harrison. You know, that beard, man, I don't know. It's doing some things for me. But in all honesty,
Tommy's a beard guy.
You wouldn't. Are you surprised?
I'm gonna ask your wife if she can grow a beard for you.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. I just keep that on the down low. Make sure I'm not there for that conversation.
All right,
I wouldn't want it to go sideways. But then that leaves me marrying Joe Kelly. I would want to be around Joe Kelly for the rest of his life as well. Like, this is a guy that I could see ending his career with the White Sox, to fully honest, because he loves himself some Tony La Russa. And mind you, Tony La Russa is not going to be here forever. But he seems like he's got that South Side attitude. Like Lance Lynn, Joe Kelly, these are the kinds of guys that like really embody the spirit that like gets the fans going. And I'm so excited to have it.
Tommy, the North Side kid, is marrying the South Side attitude. Let's go and get it, folks.
You already know. But I mean, that's a good synopsis, right? That kind of corners us into the same spot that we were kind of getting into this conversation at, which is we don't like Vince Velasquez on this team very much.
No,
Cats will fix him. Cats will fix him, but he's not sexy. We're not excited about that at all.
Just makes zero sense to me.
I mean, it makes
ending eating.
Yeah, you need a guy. You need that depth.
That's what your minor league option guys are for. That's what the Jimmy Lamberts of the world.
No, Steve, that's the thing. You want to throw Jimmy Lambert out there right now in a championship season. I mean, I don't know if Vince Velasquez is going to be any better. Velasquez is going to be any better, but I know what Jimmy Lambert gave us, which was bad. So
if Vince Velasquez is a regular starting rotation guy, I will lose my shit. And this is a perfect segue because I got a freaking bone to pick today. And that bone to pick is with this front office. I know that you have been singing the praises of Rick Hahn for a while now, and you're still in his corner despite these free agent signings.
I was a little critical, but yeah,
this one's going to go out to Rick Hahn and the entire rest of the front office. So this reaches out to Kenny.
He doesn't miss on this flack.
Kenny is in this. Jerry is in this. Anybody who has a say or has the ear of somebody else is in on this, okay? The Sox this offseason fucked around. That's what they did. They just basically played with themselves. They just said, you know what? We're just going to do whatever falls into our lap, whatever's easiest. We were the AL Central Division champs. First time in 13 years. We're very, very happy and content, and the division is ours for the next few years, and we're just going to coast. We're just going to take it easy this year. Not thinking about how we got absolutely destroyed in the playoffs by Houston.
Yep.
And not thinking that division teams can also sign players in the offseason.
They're allowed to do that, yeah.
So I thought about this, and I especially am focusing in on Detroit and Minnesota. Detroit, young core already. Bunch of guys who are starting to, get it together a little bit. Then you add Eduardo Rodriguez to help out with a young pitching staff. Javi Baez, who could be, at his peak levels, one of the best players in Major League Baseball.
He could,
I'm saying it. At his peak levels, right? When everything's going well for him. Andrew Chafin.
Right.
Tucker Barnhart. Okay?
I'm not scared of Barnhart. I get why that's like a good signing, but that's not something I'm going to shit the bed over.
Well, it's Eric Haas or whoever they're. That's
Who
who their catcher
fucking
was last
murders the White
year.
Sox.
Yeah, so he's a White Sox killer. So he'll play against the White Sox, and then Tucker Barnhart will play all the rest of the games, right? But let's be real. Detroit, a couple years out. I still think they're a couple years out.
Unless if Javi turns into some all-world player out of nowhere, which I doubt, but still, continue. Pause.
I don't think they have enough. When you're still trotting out Daz Cameron on a regular basis, you don't have enough. And they're still young. They're still very young. Minnesota, what's weird about Minnesota, and it looked like they were just blowing it up, right? They didn't. They didn't. They went out and they solidified their best player with a solid contract with Byron Buxton, right? Locked him up long term. And then they went out and arguably made the best signed the best dude that was on the market this year in Carlos Correa. Okay? I wasn't really worried, but shit's getting weird now because Rick Hahn in the front office didn't do enough in the offseason. You want to comment on this, don't you, Tommy?
Yes, I do, more than anything. Farouch also, again, in the comments, my guy, you got to chill with this shit. Like, he's saying
not
that,
wrong, though.
I mean, look, okay, White Sox, he said Correa and Buxton are what White Sox fans think Anderson and Robert are. Okay, that's offensive, first of all, sir. And second of all, Buxton's booty butt cheeks, man. And
no, he is not. He's literally when he's healthy, he's the best player in baseball.
When he's healthy, Steve. Okay,
when he's on the field for the 60 games a year that he is.
Look, we're not gonna like say that those two players are bad because they're two of the best players in baseball. Full stop. Like, you're not gonna get an argument from me on that. The only issue is that Buxton can't stay on the field. Let's say he does. And Correa is the freak athlete that he is. Like, again, it's going to be tough going up the middle on that team. But I really think that slander was uncalled for. Look, Tim Anderson is the man, the myth, the legend.
It's not
the straw
slander.
That stirs the drink. And Luis Robert is going to win the fucking MVP. It's
already true. I mean,
it's already going to happen.
Luis Robert, 2022 MVP. I'm throwing down on it when the futures come out.
Oh my God, yes.
If they're not already. Here's where I'm at too, though. When you look at all that's correct. I mean, Correa is better than TA. Buxton, when healthy, is still better than Luis Robert. But you look at the rest of the lineup, the White Sox are still better than the Twins.
Booty.
And you look at the Twins' rotation, and it is horrendous.
It's so bad. Sonny Gray, come on.
Sonny Gray, they did get a little bit better, a little bit.
But not
but they did lose Barrios too. I mean, Sonny Gray and Andrew Heaney.
Okay,
but 3 through 5 is just That's cute. Absolute 3 through 5 is an absolute mess there.
Yeah.
Plus, their bullpen's really inconsistent.
They got Gary Sanchez behind the plate too, so
I guess they don't. Yes, and they don't have Christ Colomé to screw things up for them this year. But I think it's going to be really interesting. I mean, right now, if I were a betting man, which sometimes I am, I would say the White Sox are going to win the division, and the Twins are going to be right behind them.
Dude, wow. Okay, first of all,
the fact right that behind, I mean like 5 games.
But even still, like, what? You don't think Detroit is better than the Twinks?
Nope.
Look,
not right now.
What I think the Twins did was cute. It's adorable, really, but. I am not. The only bat I'm actually scared of in that lineup is Correa's. He's the ultimate bad guy for the White Sox now. He almost like with a cast of characters, mind you, but he like knocked out the White Sox by himself. Like if there was nobody else on the damn field, I hear you. Look, I hear you. This is what I felt, not what actually happened. But the man fucking obliterated us. Every fucking at bat, he was hitting like doubles and fucking just like the clutch hits that just like broke your spirit. That was always Correa. God damn that guy. I'm never gonna like him. I'm never going to like him.
I'll say this right now. AL Central 1 through 3 is going to look really interesting this year. It's going to look a lot more interesting than we thought a couple of weeks ago. Tom, there's another bone to pick, but it's not yours.
Yes.
Should we comment on this?
Yes. Dude, it made me so happy to see Jake Berger's bone to pick. So if you haven't seen, Jake Berger posted a photo and added MLB, shouted out the White Sox, and was like, look, I've got a bone to pick with whoever designed these spring training baseball hats, because his sunburn was ratchet. And look, Jake Berger is a man after Steve's heart, right? With the bald and the beard. Like, it's just who he is. You can't help it, right? Most guys, that age range have some hair. Steve and Jake just don't. And that's okay. We still love them. But most of these guys aren't worried about getting the top of their head burnt because they've got something covering them up there. So I don't know. Maybe this is more of a Jake Berger problem than the White Sox problem. Steve, where do you land on this? Are you more sympathetic to the cause?
I am, absolutely. I mean, come on now. Like, we got to start constructing hats where our guys' heads are not going to get burned in the Arizona heat. Like, let me just show this. I can actually screen share, I think, for our live viewers. You guys can see here, Jake Berger's head is just absolutely scorchered. And mind you, as a bald person who has burned the top of their head before, it's not a pleasant experience.
Oh, God. I can't imagine that peeling later on and just I don't know why I just said that. Oh, it's so bad. It so bad.
It just gets so flaky. So
it's so bad.
I feel for my guy Jake Berger here as he's trying to fight for a 26-man roster spot.
Yo,
he's got to deal with the flaky head now, too, and the uncomfortable. Yeah. And you wear a hat on top of that too, man. That sucks.
He adjusts his batting helmet at the plate and just pain.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, poor guy. No, honestly, okay, I'll back down. I do feel bad for the guy. That sucks because you go out there and you're like, well, what's the one place I'm not worried about putting sunscreen on? I got a hat up there. I'll be fine. Wrong. Murdered. Absolutely KO'd. Poor guy. I definitely feel bad about it. But that is not the only bone to pick we have. We have got one more bone to pick, and Lord Almighty, do I have a bone to pick.
And what is that, Tom?
Look here, Apple TV, you motherfucker. You don't have enough money already? What the hell is this? This is old news. This is old news, mind you. But now, just to watch baseball, I've got to go and buy an iPad and get Apple TV. I know there's other ways to buy Apple TV, but I'm not going to spend actual monthly dollars on this shit. If I'm going to get it, I'm going to have to get it for free, and then I'll roll with it. But they've got exclusive rights to baseball games on select baseball games on Fridays. I don't want to deal with doing some bullshit broadcast that Apple's got going. It's goddamn. Look, I'm sick and tired of these antitrust laws meaning nothing to Americans. There are laws in place that prevent monopolies, and fucking Apple owns everything, baby. I'm sick of it. Apple and Amazon just buying shit up. Now, okay, look, I really got on my soapbox just there, but I am sick of this shit, and I am not paying for Apple TV. I might buy an iPad,
Tommy.
In which case I'll get it, but I'm mad, man. I
got a solution for you. You ready?
No, Steve. Are you
BewaSport.com?
You motherfucker.
Your one-stop shop for, look at that, NBA, NHL, NFL, MLB, MMA, boxing, and college football. So don't forget,
you can't
no free ads.
Look,
no free ads.
You just threw up an illegal streaming service right in the middle of our podcast. Dude.
Not the worst thing we've done.
I can't with that. That's such bullshit.
Jeez. Well, you can complain about me later, Tom. But I know you have a real Minoso minute and something to actually complain about this
yes.
week.
Yes.
And talk to us about. So I should give you the floor for that.
So what we like to do on this podcast every once in a while is we take a minute to talk about stuff going on outside the lines of baseball, right? And in this case, because obviously Minnie Minoso did so much for the game outside the lines of baseball, we've named the segment after him, right? So we take a minute, we'll talk outside the lines. And I wanted to talk about Tim Timmons and his small. I'll let you fill in that blank. So we had a bit of a tiff, we'll say, with Detroit near the end of last season. And Tim Anderson incidentally bumped an umpire, Tim Timmons, and subsequently received a 3-game suspension. Now, not the end of the world. It's the end of the season, whatever. It didn't affect his play in the postseason, which was the most pressing thing for White Sox fans to hear. But this means that Tim Anderson will not be on the field for the first 3 games of the MLB season. And the only thing that does is hurt the product for fans of, any team that's going to the ballpark that day. You don't get anybody who tunes in, right? Like, you think White Sox, who do you think of? Tim Anderson. Full stop. Sometimes Jose Abreu. But, like, this is the guy that you think of wearing the black and white. And you've just taken him and sidelined him for the opening day of fucking baseball. You want this to be an important day? Baseball, MLB? Then get rid of this damn suspension. Like, this is old goddamn news. This was in September that this happened. Tim Anderson's appealed, and to no avail. But why would this not have been withdrawn? Like, it was incidental fucking. Go back and watch it again. It got me heated. I'm like, this never should have led to a suspension in the first place. And now you're taking away one of the stars of baseball on one of the most important days of baseball. Absolute horseshit. I'm sick and tired. I'm absolutely sick and tired. And it kind of turned into more of a bone to pick. But look, it's just not sitting well with me looking into, and mind you, I've got bias, but it's not sitting well with me that you're sidelining one of the stars of baseball for some incidental bullshit.
For sure. Thanks for sharing that, Tommy. When I think of the White Sox, I think of Yoan Moncada, but that's beside the point. Hashtag he's a bust though.
Yeah, true. Pop sensation.
No, when the Tim Anderson situation, and this isn't the first time with him and umpires, right? And it's just like really frustrating. Right. I hate to make it satirical, but all I can think of is that Family Guy bit from when Peter is like driving like across the border or something. But yeah, the okay versus not okay color palette here.
Yep.
Yeah. I hate to make it that way.
Look,
but that's how I feel.
It's true though.
Especially with Tim and the way he plays the game.
And it's not, you said it. It's not the first time that Tim's had these issues, and it's not really like he's not a bad guy baseball player. Like, he's not that guy. He plays the game the right way. He just plays it with a chip on his shoulder. And look, I don't have the patience for it. I really don't, because this is the stupidest reason to sideline one of the bright stars of the game on a day that matters. Anyway, I could keep going, but I should not. I should not.
Fair. Well, thanks for sharing that bit, Tom. As you know, though, there's a big thing going on in White Sox Twitter world that we should probably first off, we're at 50 minutes, so we should probably wrap this thing up, Tom. But
yeah,
let's talk about that thing, Tom. And what is that thing?
The 108 tourney, baby.
Yes, which I had the privilege of being a special guest co-host for the 108 tourney reveal show. You may or may not have saw me in overalls, green overalls. Is that what you call them? No, suspenders.
Suspenders
not even overalls.
Only. Yeah, no, you were not wearing.
It was not overalls. It was suspenders with no shirt on underneath. Really strapped
cute.
To sweatpants.
Super good.
Classy. With the Chippendales background. Now,
classy was not the first word I thought of, but anyway.
Yeah. But I am in the 108 tourney this year. As I have been the last couple of years, not to toot my own horn here, but it's always a fun time. So I have some top 10 moments of the tourney that I would like to go over real quick, and I'll
Let's
kind of make this a rapid, and then you can go and comment on the ones that you'd like to, Tom.
I'm excited.
So starting from number 10. Ken Woe needed a White Sox Dave endorsement to move out of the first round this year.
It's true.
Number 9. Beware of the hashtag Fem Awards. Number 8. Mansu Lee's upset of GD in round 1 is truly spectacular and well-deserved. March Madness at its finest.
Snaps for that.
7. Beating Adam KC's ass in round 1 was fun. But beating the ghost of Billy Wires is going to be a tough task for me.
Yes.
Number 6.
He doesn't even exist on that account anymore, and you're probably going to lose.
Yeah. Number 6. Dan Victor did get over 25% of the vote against Tom Paints, unlike what Beef Loaf said. So suck it, Mr. Delicious 13. You owe me beer.
By
Number
the way,
5.
Bye, Beef. Bye.
Yes. Enjoy. Yeah, there we go. That's a good one. Number 5. I hope Beef Loaf is enjoying working on his golf swing in his off season from the 108 tournament. Number 4. The Alex Rude Jordan Miller duel was absolutely hilarious. I don't know how Alex pounds Jaeger bombs like that. It's actually concerning.
That was so absurd. Like, he's not a big guy. He's not.
No. Number 3. Herb Lawrence getting bested by Shane is sad for me because Shane is still big timing.
Upsetting.
Shane is still big timing me by not following me on Twitter.
Unbelievable. Unacceptable.
It really is, especially with the shot glass that I gave him. Come on now. He said he'd come on the podcast too. Come on, man. Number 2. He's going to be a subject of a bone to pick in a minute. Glad that both of my guys moved on, Sammy Davis Jr. and Willie P. But I am excited, but also worried for Sammy Davis Jr.'s slander campaign against Willie.
Yeah, it's about to get ugly.
Absolutely.
Between friends too. Good God.
Yes. And my last one. Kudos to one former guest of the Sons of Honarchy podcast and beer aficionado, Brewhand Luke, for proving me wrong. I should have known that Jim's Twitter campaign would be far too dry. So,
to Brewhand Luke, here.
So, of course. So, kudos there. Tourney's been fun.
Tourney has been fun.
Excited.
Like, that quick hitter was a great synopsis, by the way, Steve. Kudos to you, sir.
Thank you. I'll make sure I do that again next week.
That was good. I loved it. And look, like, the funnest part about this is that, mind you, we're hyped for the baseball season, but this just adds to it. This is just like creme de la creme. And it's just a fucking like fun way to get to see people that you don't usually see. Or if you do see them, you see them at their best as far as content creation. So I love it. Couldn't be happier. I'm actually real sad that Herb's out. Bullshit with Shane. Absolute bullshit.
Come on now. One is an actual White Sox fan. The other is not. So
the other is Shane Reardon. So
right. My point exactly. Well, there is one more off-season related thing, Tom, that I want to talk about before we closed out too, and that is my break Tommy's bank board here for the White Sox Run Club. I'll be honest, life has hit me like a 10-ton truck.
Right.
And everything that's going on. And like I said, I am currently in ownership of a place and haven't even moved into it yet. We just finished painting today.
Hey, fresh coat of paint.
Hey, does wonders. Now I do have to say, so current mile counted right now, I am at 11 miles away, which would put me at 97 total miles, Tom.
Not bad, Steve.
I will definitely be hitting that 108 mark by original opening day on the 31st. I can guarantee you that because that's a mile a day.
Steve will guarantee.
That's, you already know it. So I just wanted to give you that update, and I know you have a mile count update, and then we'll update the listeners too on what we're doing in regard to charity.
Yes. So me and my like not running ass, like never. And look, I have not run consistently ever in my life. I've never been considered a runner, whatever. January 1st, picked it up. and I'm 88 miles in. So yeah, your man's is 9 miles behind Steve. But look, in life, I'm probably thousands of miles behind the man. And so I'm not feeling too down on myself here. 20 miles out from the goal. Plan is to get there, to get to 108 by original opening day. And then everything added on top of that while we work our way to April 7th is just going to be gravy. So
absolutely. And speaking of gravy, so Tommy and I have agreed. I guess this isn't gravy. This is cold hard cash.
Exactly. It was like, I mean, I don't think I've ever called money gravy.
What's a food acronym for bread? There we go. It's not gravy. This is bread. So Tommy and I have agreed. If once we hit 108 miles each, we will be donating $50 each to our charities of choice. So I'll donate 50 to Tommy's charity of choice, vice versa. And then every mile we exceed past 108, we will be donating another $1 on top of that. So hopefully I can get these legs in shape. I'm going to be doing some running for 108 tourney votes.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for some content there. That's going to be fun. It's not going to be a beer mile this year, Tom, but
yeah, because then you'd only get one more mile on the board. You got to get more than 1 beer mile. You'll be doing 3 beer miles, 4 beer miles, right? Yeah.
Well, I'll be honest. I'll be honest. You know what? Should I sneak it for the listeners, Tom?
I think. Okay, come on. Look, you're gonna be doing it within a week or 2, probably.
Oh, I'm gonna be doing it within the next few days, and I'm actually taking Thursday off work.
Oh my God! Yes.
So as a part of the process. So for those of you that don't know about the 6, 12, 18, 24 challenge, I'm just gonna let you look it up on your own time.
Have fun with that, by the way.
But if people can get me through the second round, I'm not going to do it during the second round because I think I've got enough content to get me through the second round past my guy Billy Wires, Juan Uribe's Cup.
Ooh.
Or the Ghost.
That's right. Even
his account is back. Well, not that account is back, but he is back.
He is back. That account is unfortunately not. The one in the tournament is not the real Billy Wires anymore.
Just like Jesus rising on the third day, or the third suspension.
Exactly.
So if we can get past, if Team Steve-O can get past Billy Wires, then round 3, which will most likely be against Janice and will not be likely a good result for you, boy. There's going to be some fun content still coming out. So make sure you go and vote Steve-O in the 108 tourney.
Yeah, you don't want to miss out on this 6, 12, 18, 24 stuff. If you don't know what it is, you will know by the time Steve-O gets into round 3. So I love all of that talk, and I'm excited to, be donating to your charity of choice soon. The Rockford baseball,
Yes, Roy Gale.
Very excited about it. You're going to be donating to My Block, My City, My Hood. Very excited about it. Shout outs to those organizations, obviously. We got a lot of things going on, Steve, but I think that brings us to kind of our end here. Do you have any final thoughts?
Closing time. I do have a few final thoughts. There are special shout outs this week, actually. So 108 tourney time has definitely brought out the best in everybody. But there are a few people that I'd like to highlight and have highlighted, not me, not you, but literally our podcast, the Sons of
Not me,
podcast.
Not Hermione, you. Is that what you're saying? I'm sorry.
Thank you. Please drop that sound bit for the non-live listeners. So I do have to shout out first and foremost Jimmy Vanicki, who has always been a day one supporter of the Sons of Honarchy brand. He listens to our podcast. He supports us. He does his Malort minutes with the Sons of Honarchy shot glass. He's had our koozie at sporting events that aren't just White Sox games. Jimmy, I owe him another apology, to be honest with you. But thank you to Jimmy for forgiving me as I forgot his endorsement for the 108 tourney. I endorsed a bunch of people during day 2. Totally left Jimmy off of it on accident. Apparently, on his packing list, he keeps Sons of Honarchy shot glass on his list when he goes
crazy.
When he goes to vacation. And considering he is modern day Griswold, and he's going on vacation with his Sons of Anarchy glass.
Oh,
I'm honored and
gets me right in the
touched.
feels.
I'm touched in all sorts of ways that
Oh.
that Juan Uribe's cup would be even surprised by. But second shout out goes to Recovering Prof. Not only has he been such a good dude and becoming a listener of the Sons of Anarchy, supporting us along the way, but I've gotten to know him more recently. He's been sporting his Sons of Anarchy shot glass when he takes his little whiskey shots, or he's adding it into something else, or even on his concession video to Willie P. In the first round of the tourney, he had a shot glass on him and gave us a nice shout out. So shouts to him, as well as shout out to the few people who I still owe shot glasses to. I promise I will get those out to you. My plan is to get them out to you on my day off this week.
Your man's life has been crazy, so
thank you.
I'll vouch for you, Steve. Yeah,
I appreciate you being my witness. Not just God as my witness, Hot Take Tommy as my witness. So,
oh, jeez, being mentioned in the same sentence as God, it's where I've been aspiring to in your life. I should be on the same level as God in your life, Steve. That's what I was always going for, anyway. But I will mention in the same breath as you're mentioning all of our love for Jimmy Vanicki, that the reason why he was my only shout out, my only endorsement in the tournament, is because your lack of shouting him out in your initial endorsements. But Lord knows we love that man. Oh, the content he creates for free is so good. Makes my day every day. So
free 99, just like us. So make sure you go and rate, subscribe, review, not only to our podcast, but also follow us on Twitter at Sons of Anarchy. We also have a YouTube page. So come join us in the live comment section. I promise you'll most likely get shouted out and we'll answer your questions on the air. So
that is the best segue, Steve. I love it. Man, with the plugs, Steve, I appreciate you. Let's wrap it up, though. Let's wrap it up. So in Han we trust.
Take the AL Central again. We must. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see y'all next week.
Bye.